What is up, everyone? Little Red Fishing here. Got a little bit of a different video today. I bet you're wondering why I have a brand new Dakota Lithium 60 amp hour battery, 36 volt, along with a brand new set of Ever Starts and an old set of Interstates, all sitting here with me around the boat today. So long story short is these batteries, they crapped out on me after about a year. So I ordered the 36 volt 60 amp hour battery from Dakota Lithium, which is what the review of this video is going to be on. And I ordered it about a month ago. It was supposed to be here in time for a big tournament. Long story short, it didn't make it in time. So we had to get some Everstart batteries to get us through the tournament. They're lead acid batteries, and that means I'm only going to get about a year of use out of them with the amount that I fish, just like I did out of these. See the sticker on them, 222 when I bought my boat. I only got 1 year out of them. So that's what I would expect to get out of these lead acid batteries. All lead acid batteries having the same downfall. This is also as light as one of these, so I'm cutting out a third of the weight there. I'm hoping that Dakota Lithium is honest, that I will be able to get a full day's fishing out of this battery. Tomorrow, what I'm going to do is get out on the water and I'm going to fish until this battery dies. I'm going to finish installing this battery. Stay tuned, we're going fishing tomorrow. My install. There she is, all strapped in nice and pretty. Alright guys, let's talk about this Dakota Lithium 36 volt 60 amp hour battery. I'm doing a voiceover today because I just didn't like the audio that I got on the water, and I thought I could be a little bit more clear and concise with a voiceover, so hopefully that turns out well for everyone. So what's the plan today? How am I fishing? What are the conditions? The plan today is to try to kill this battery. How am I fishing? I've picked up moving bait, swim jig, chatterbait. We got a glide bait. We got a top water. The conditions. It was not windy in the morning, but we did get some nice 10-ish mile per hour winds later in the day. And we're just making loops around this little no-wake lake. Loops and loops and loops around the lake. I really didn't even start like cutting over to spots until like super late in the day. I was just doing loops and loops and loops. It is also a little bit notable to say that there are some weeds in the lake which can have some impact on battery range. So what is my reason for doing this review? My number one reason for doing this review is there are no non-biased reviews that I can find on the internet. And when I was debating on buying this battery, I thought that this was the battery that I wanted, but I couldn't find anybody independent to say, you know, this is what I can do with this battery. Dakota Lithium makes some claims. They make some claims about this battery, about its range and other things in life. We can't really test its lifetime performance in this video, but we do test its 1 day range, and that is one of the things that they claimed. And they told me in person that I would be able to get a full day's fishing out of this battery. So we'll see. Install was super easy. Not that wiring a couple batteries in series is difficult, but it was super easy. It's super clean, as you can see. It could even be more clean. Yeah. Anyways, one of the first things that I'm noticing as I start fishing with this trolling, with this battery, I guess I should note that I have a Minn Kota Ultrex 112 on my boat, and typically when I'm cruising up and down the banks, I have a 21-foot boat. That's also important. When I'm cruising up and down banks, covering water like I am in this video, I'm typically on a speed of 4. And with this battery, I'm on 3 most of the time instead of 4. And that kind of alludes to one of their claims that it has more power. But that's also going to play a big factor with amp hour draw. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But we can talk about the power. And Dakota Lithium makes two claims about the power of this battery. They say you're going to get more power and you're going to get max power or full power all day until the battery dies. And I did a little speed test just for myself, and I can say that my trolling motor will go about zero point 0.4 to zero point 0.5 miles per hour faster with this Dakota Lithium battery. I could get about 3.4 miles per hour with my old batteries, and I can get 3.8 miles per hour with the Dakota Lithium battery. And I got that 3.8 miles per hour at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. So let's talk a little bit about amp hour draw for my trolling motor. So with my Minn Kota Ultrex 112, if I turn my power on 3, it draws 4 amps per hour. If I turn my power on 4, it draws 7 amps per hour. Uh, and that is only while your trolling motor is on, which is an important point. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was skeptical about this battery. But a little bit of math, if I turn my battery or if I turn my trolling motor on 3 and keep it on with this 60 amp hour battery, I should get about 15 hours of life. But sometimes you're kicking it up on 10, getting around people, and that's how I fished today. You can see me cutting across banks and doing other things like that. But one thing that people should be aware of with this Minn Kota Ultrex 112 on power setting 10, your trolling motor is drawing 46 amps per hour. So even with a 100 amp hour battery, that is right at like 2 hours of battery life on 10. So just be careful on that 10 setting. My number one plan, if this battery wasn't enough, I had really two options. I was probably going to go with like a power pole recharger system to recharge the battery, but I also could have bought another battery, another 60 amp hour battery to wire in parallel. But one of the main reasons I got this battery was weight saving because I want to go fast. So probably would have went with the power pole recharge system. They're about the same price. I did have a little bit of drama with getting the battery. Kind of talked about that a little bit yesterday. The battery, when I ordered it, was supposed to be shipped in 1 to 3 days, and then after that, they said a lot for 5 days of shipping time, and the battery should be there. That was not the case. It took me about a month to get the battery, and originally it was very hard to get in contact with anybody at Dakota Lithium. I still don't think that you can get in contact with anybody there by phone, which is very annoying. But once I did get in contact with somebody, I think his name was Jamie, by email, I did have a relatively good experience with him. I found out after a little bit of prying that they just didn't have the battery in stock, and I think I kind of hit them at a bad time. I don't want to take any blame because it's their fault. But they did update their website a couple days after I bought the battery, and said that they were a couple weeks out on shipping, which is what I experienced. So how did the battery do? The battery did great, and I'm very happy because I didn't want to have to spend another $1,500 to buy another battery or to buy the power pole recharge system. I fished for 10 hours. I did not kill the battery. The battery showed no signs of dying. I turned it on 10 at the end of the day and just was trolling across the lake, and it still didn't die. So then I just wanted to know, how many amp hours did I have left? And I don't have like a discharge meter or anything like that, but you can buy things like that. But what I did have is the battery charger that they sent to me, and it is an 8 amp hour charger. So it is charging at 8 amps per hour, and it is a 60 amp hour battery. So it would take about 7.5 hours to charge from completely empty to completely full. So the big question: how long did it take to charge the battery after this trip? it took less than 4 hours, which means that I used basically half of the battery. Now, do I recommend this battery? No, that's not the point of this video. You guys got to make your own decisions there. If you do want the battery, I recommend listening to the Tackle Talk podcast because they do have a promo code. And this is not a lifetime test of the battery. This is a 1 day test. If you guys like this kind of video, if you like what you've seen, if you like what you heard, let me know. I've thought for a very long time about doing a review of my Express X21 boat. And hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.